An Introduction to Coding for Accessibility, Building a Bridge to Better Communication. First, you should start with web accessibility in mind. Know the code and the concepts for accessibility. We're going to talk about 4 tools to use to check accessibility. The first one, View Page Source, and the second one, Inspect Element, are basically just available in your browser. The third one is wave.webaim.org, and the fourth one is validator.w3.org. Here's a little information about View Page Source tools by browser. In Chrome, you right-click, choose View Page Source. In Firefox, you can also right-click, choose View Page Source. In Safari, choose Preferences Advanced, Show Developer Menu, Enable Show Page Source. For accessibility, you need to use a doctype and a language. Use the HTML5 doctype, exclamation mark, doctype, space, HTML. Then identify the language, HTML space, lang, equal, quotations, EN for English. If the language changes, identify the new one. So you could have a span with lang equal quotations ES, bienvenidos, and close your span. That would be for the Spanish. Otherwise, your screen reader will attempt to read your page with the wrong accent. Okay, we're going to check the doctype and the language. Do a right click and choose View Page Source. Then if you want to, you can do a Control F, but look for doctype HTML, HTML lang equal EN, or whichever language you're targeting. This is a screenshot of the Wells Fargo Bank homepage. You need to determine the purpose for this page. Set up a title tag, an H1, and a page name. We need an accessible title tag, an H1, and a page name. These 3 elements must match. So, a suggestion is the title tag could be Home Mortgages Wells Fargo. The H1 could be Home Mortgage Loans, and the web page could be mortgage.html. These work. Mortgage is the main purpose. You need to make your title tag communicate. Screen readers and search engines prefer strong title tags. So a title tag of home, that's bad. A title tag Wells Fargo, that's better. Include unique information first. So a title tag Home Mortgages Wells Fargo, that's the best. Accessible headings are a hierarchy. Screen readers and search engines read the headings. So you have an H1, Home Mortgage Loans. You have 2 H2s on this page, Home Ownership Simplified and Get Started. Under the H2 for Get Started, you have 3 H3s. Find a mortgage consultant, call us, let us contact you. Color contrast is vital to accessibility. the WCAG 2.0 guidelines for contrast, 1.4.3 contrast minimum, the visual presentation of text and images of text has a contrast ratio of at least 4.5 to 1, except for the following, level AA. So with the large text, large-scale text and images of large-scale text have a contrast ratio of at least 3 to 1. There's some great tools to use to check color contrast. WebAIM is an organization within the Center for Persons with Disabilities at Utah State University, webaim.org. WebAIM's accessibility checker is at wave.webaim.org. They also have the WebAIM color contrast checker. Go to webaim.org/resources/contrast checker. You can evaluate using the WebAIM Wave tool. You can visit wave.webaim.org or install the Wave tool in Chrome. Either way, you will find a text field where you can put in your web address to check that particular website. This is a screenshot of a medical clinic website, Riverside Medical Arts Family Clinic. I want you to check it for color contrast. I used the Wave tool to get a contrast report, and I found 23 errors in color contrast. I used the Wave tool to get a contrast score. The original light green was hexadecimal 01B9AF. It had a score of 2.45 to 1. That's a fail. I created a new darker green hexadecimal 12605B. It had a score of 7.37 to 1. That's a pass. All right, the next tool is Inspect Element Tools. And by browser on Chrome, you do a right click, choose Inspect, and it displays to the right. On Firefox, you right click, choose Inspect Element, it displays underneath. On Safari, set the preferences, go to Advanced, Show Developer menu, enable Inspect Element. Inspect Element to examine the CSS. So I have some screenshots here who show that you can right click and select Inspect, and then you get a view of all the CSS. You can click on sections and it'll highlight the CSS for that section. I'm using Inspect Element to identify specific styles. So now I'm looking at the body. I see the font family, Roboto Condensed Sans Serif, font size 14 pixel, font weight 400, line height 1.714285571. But of interest is the color hexadecimal A4A4A5 and the background color E2, E6, E9. I used the WebAIM color contrast checker. I looked at the font color, which was A4, A4, A5. It's basically a light gray. Then I looked at the background color, E2, E6, E9, which is sort of an off-white. When you put those two together, they fail on the normal text and they fail on the large text. Normal text should score 4.5. I have 4 squares that show gray colors being used in text. The body has A4, A4, A5 with a score of 2.59. That's a fail. The H4 has 909497 with a score of 3.06. That's a fail. The color for the footer is 646464 with a score of 5.92. That's a pass. The thumb class 8B9196 has a score of 3.19. That's a fail. Another big rule is do not use color as the only signifier. So in my previous slide, I had fail as red and pass as green. But in this slide, I am showing the footer and the thumb, and all I have is the color on the score is green for the footer and red for the thumb. I have left off the words pass and fail. So this is a bad example. Color should never be used as the only signifier. Be aware of color blindness when using red and green. In the original versions, the score stated pass or fail. A good tip for accessibility is to show the selected page. I have a screenshot here of the Medical Arts Clinic. The selected link has a red background and white text. So you need to use both color and contrast for a better user experience. I've applied class equals selected to the physician's link, and I created a selected class with a color of white and a background color of red. DE0500. Another tool you can use is the W3 validator. You can use it to check for alt. So visit validator.w3.org and place your website into their text field, and it will evaluate it for you. All images require an alt tag. Images are a black hole. Screen readers and search engines cannot see their content. I have a screenshot of a family practice doctor, but for someone listening to a screen reader, nothing will happen. I have the tags that show that I am now adding alt equal quotations Dr. Frank Brown family practice. Even decorative images need an alt tag. An image which is decorative requires an alt, but leave it empty. The screen reader will not read the image name, it will just skip the image. So I have code here showing image source equal images/flowerborder.jpg, alt equal quote quote, and there's nothing inside the quote. Code for accessibility. I have a photo here of people smiling, people of all different ethnicities, and it includes a woman in a wheelchair. By coding for accessibility, you build the bridge for all of us. Thank you. I include in my citation page the requirements for Apple for me to use the Safari icon and links to their guidelines. I also include that kind of information for the Chrome icon and for the Firefox icon.